gentleman from Northern Mariana Islands, Mr. Sablan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, welcome. My questions are going to be particularly about the territories, the Northern Mariana Islands, but on March 22nd, you issued an overtime rule proposal. Of course, the proposed rule formerly the insular areas.
Congressman, thank you for the question. Biased system.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. The gentleman from Northern Mariana Islands, Mr. Sablan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, welcome. My questions are going to be particularly about the territories, the Northern Mariana Islands, but on March 22nd, you issued an overtime rule proposal. Of course, the proposed rule formerly rescind the Obama era overtime rule, but what struck me is that for the first time ever, your proposal creates a special rate for the Northern Marianas, for Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and Guam at $455 a week, and even for American Samoa at $380 a week. Why is it different for the insular areas?
Congressman, thank you for the question. Let me just say that that is something that I think you deserve an answer on, and let me get back to you on that. Perhaps we can come in and brief you and your staff on that question.
I appreciate that, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Secretary. I take it that we're gonna do that.
We will do that. We will do that. How about this? Let's put a time so that we both know that it happens. How about no sooner than next Friday, than a week from this Friday?
We'll find I'll open something up. Thank you. Mr. Secretary, also, again, last year I introduced the Northern Marianas Workforce Act, which became Public Law 110-218. So I want to know if the law is working as intended. Let me go back to one purpose of the law is to make sure that the education fee that employers of foreign workers pay is used effectively to train and place U.S. workers in job, and it should be about $2.5 million in fiscal year 2020. The Workforce Act requires the governor to submit an annual plan for training funds. What factors will be used in assessing and approving a plan? One, has the department provided guidance to the Commonwealth Governor's Office as to the requirement necessary for approval of a plan?
Congressman, we've talked with the Commonwealth Governor on a number of issues. In all candor, a lot of them have to do with workforce issues and visa issues and whatnot. I know that those plans are pretty typical, that the criteria are set out, and I will confirm to you that our Employment and Training Administration has been in communications with the governor regarding that plan and what status, whether it has been submitted, and if so, where that is within the ETA.
Yeah. Okay, so because there's a June 30 timeline there, sir. Thank you. And on H2B, Mr. Secretary, I continue to be concerned about the department's position that it is unable to prevent employers from laying off similarly employed U.S. workers and replacing them with non-immigrant guest workers under the H2B program. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to enter into the record our letter to Secretary Acosta of September 13, 2018, and the department's December 14, 2018 response. So, Mr. Secretary—
Without objection.
Thank you. Mr. Secretary, putting aside the department's position that it cannot enforce corresponding worker provisions due to congressional appropriation riders, it is clear to me that the department should at least be enforcing non-displacement provisions and that would correct actions such as when employers at a Marianas construction site laid off its U.S. workforce in favor of H-2B workers. Why has the department failed to conduct an investigation of this matter?
Congressman, I can't speak to the specific investigation, but I will, let me just say generally, we have directed the Wage and Hour Division to, whenever it discovers an issue, to refer it to the Inspector General, because we are investigating these matters. We're investigating them vigorously, using every authority that we have. And if we can refer it for criminal investigation, we are doing so, and those referrals have gone up. One of the issues around non-displacement has to do with the law set a cutoff and a cutoff salary. And so the law is different for those individuals making less than $60,000 versus those making more than $60,000. I would love to work with the congressman to address this, because to the extent we have authorities, we want to use those authorities to enforce non-displacement of U.S. workers vigorously.
Right, and my time is up, Mr. Secretary, but I will submit some additional issues for you, and that when in our next meeting, no later than next Friday, we could discuss the other issues as
Absolutely.
well. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Mr. Chairman, my time is up.
Thank you.